all your school rugby, all in one place. This is NextGen 15.
Alright guys, welcome to NextGen 15, and with the conclusion of the Varsity Cup today, we're going to be looking at a Varsity Cup Team of the Tournament. So if you are new to our channel, please don't forget to click that subscribe button as well as bell notification, and as soon as new videos are released, you'll be the first to know. So let's kick it off. What we're going to do is we're going to look at a couple of players that we felt impressed, and then what we'll do is we'll go over who we felt was the player of the tournament in that specific position. And as you know, if you follow us on Instagram, we have been naming a team of the round. Been a very interesting year for the Varsity Cup. Well done to Tuks for their victory. In terms of our predictions, we predicted a Wits victory. It did not quite work out that way, but we got Tuks and Marty's making the making the semi-finals. So 2 out of 4, not the best, especially when you consider the other semi-finals we predicted was UJ, University of Joburg. So it sprung a lot of surprises. It was a very different format, and let's hope things can get back to normal and we can have a 8 to 10 week tournament as we normally do. And the guys don't have to play in bubbles and have to go through delays and all the rest of it. But this was very difficult, guys. I mean, a lot of players put their hands up. So what we're just going to do is we're going to go through our opinions on who are the players of the tournament. So starting off at fullback, I think Koen Jasper from the X Years was absolutely outstanding. Ran exciting lines. He's already been offered a senior contract at the Cheetahs just to show you how highly rated he is. Massive future in the game, and coming through the youth system very nicely. Gilroy Philander was absolutely outstanding in the opening rounds. I think he's a very exciting and dynamic talent. Really do hope we get to see more of him in the near future. And then, of course, Atigazi from UCT was consistently outstanding in the tournament. And along with his teammates would have obviously been disappointed with not being able to take home the trophy. But in terms of sheer consistency, I had to go with Zander du Plessis, guys. I think this guy was just like one of the players of the tournament, so to speak. It was very difficult between him and Koen Jasper, especially, I have to admit. But Zander was just special. I mean, I think he broke the record for the most points in a tournament, and this during a pandemic when things were very difficult and a lot of squad rotation was needed to be used. Now, if you've been following this channel for a while and you remember, we named Zander as our dark horse player in 2018. I just thought he was absolutely outstanding. He reminded me a heck of a lot of Stephen Larkham in terms of his ability with the boot and his running lines and all the rest of it. And it has to be very soon a major union comes in and snaps this guy up, because I said it back in 2018 and I still believe it today that he could become a world-class fly half especially. But hey, I mean, fullback's another position that he could be great at. Moving on to the right wing, Retabile Low was one of the players of the tournament as well. He just scored tries for fun. Always seemed to be in the right place at the right time. Really rate him a lot. Lundi Msenga was one of the breakout players of the tournament. Thought he was absolutely outstanding as well. Liam Klusman, another UCT player, was absolutely outstanding as well. He's basically moved from scrum off to the wing, and he made the transition seamlessly. But ultimately, I had to go with Munir Hartzenberg, another one that was just consistently outstanding. Scored tries for fun all over the place, and this is someone that really showcased his ability and has to be considered to one of the unions to turn pro. He's just so good, so talented. Moving on to outside centre, Neil Stannard felt he was outstanding. Henko van Wyk was great, guys, for Wits. Despite Wits being very weak, and in my opinion, I thought they were one of the favourites in the tournament. If you looked at them on paper, something just didn't click with the team, unfortunately. I don't know what it was. I don't say it's bad coaching, but something just didn't click. And I think it was obviously very disappointing. And I still think despite that, Henko still did very well in the tournament. And then David Brits, of course, outstanding leader for Marty's, outstanding player, and highly physical, always broke the line, and someone that just had a great tournament. But for me, he had to go with Avadi Borsor from UCT, just consistently good, made the team of the round a good couple of times. What an outstanding centre combination he played with. Someone we'll mention very shortly. But yeah, they were outstanding throughout the group phases, and it's bitterly disappointing to UCT that they couldn't finish it off, obviously. But these guys were outstanding. I mean, UCT were definitely a surprise package. I said in my preview that I thought maybe it was a year too early for these guys, but I was completely wrong, and I don't mind being wrong. I like being proven wrong. You know, you only learn when you get proven wrong, and UCT schooled me. They definitely schooled me. I mean, I've got a lot more research to do about tertiary level rugby for sure, and I look forward to it. Inside centre, Laurits van der Schuyf from Tuks is an absolute monster. I don't know how you can be that size and be that athletic at the same time. Match fit, consistently good every game. Leroux Milan from UCT, another player that is outstanding. And in Gears Lengbe, guys, I will keep on talking about the level of talent this guy has. He's unreal as a player. Can play on the wing as a centre. I think if there was a bit more strategy towards building the game around the centre combination for Wits, they would have had a lot more success, because to have Henko van Wyk and Gears Lengbe as your centre combination and still not be able to do things, I mean, I don't want to call out individual players, but I think you can put two and two together where perhaps the weak link was for Wits, unfortunately. Not that individual's a bad player, but he just they weren't playing according to a system that could have led to their success. But I still think in the games I saw in Gear, I thought he was outstanding, especially when you consider where Wits finished on the log. But I ultimately had to go with Michael Brink. Like I said, I'll speak about him in conjunction with his centre partner. They were absolutely outstanding in the tournament. It just goes to show you the depth and quality UCT have that I've named Leroux Melania as well. But Brink, I think he just combined very well with his centre partnerships, and definitely the outstanding centre of the tournament, in my opinion. The left wing, I really liked Sibek Lamlashe, guys. I really think he had a great tournament. I think he wasn't spoken enough about, but, you know, it's not only about finishing. It's also about your support play. It's also about your defence. It's also about, you know, playing to a pattern. And I really, really like Siba's style of play. I've rated him since school level. And then Pienaar van Niekerk, he played on the wing. He played as a fullback as well. I think he's someone very outstanding and someone that needs to be watched very closely. I don't know what his situation is varsity-wise, but I'd love to see another season of Varsity Cup for him. I think after another season, he can really make a step up. And I think this is someone I'm very excited about as a player. I just really, really like his style of play. But for me, there's only one man, and that's that absolute monster, Prince Nkambinde. I mean, every time this guy got the ball, he looked like he'd make something happen. I mean, UJ were very disappointing this year. I think I just don't think the tactics were there. I don't think the strategy was there. Combinations weren't right, and also sometimes the ball just doesn't bounce right for you. It's on paper they've got some excellent plays, but there's, you know, it's just not their year this year. And I still think they're an outstanding team, a very well-run organization overall, but this year just very, very disappointing, and they'll concede that as well. I really thought they'd have made the semi-finals, but even in a team that didn't quite fire on all cylinders, Prince was absolutely outstanding. Every time he touched the ball, he just looked like he would make something happen. And you know, the thing is, our outside backs in South Africa aren't the biggest in the world. You know what I mean? So to have someone like Prince come in that's basically like built like a brick, you know what house. I mean, I don't want YouTube to demonetize me for four-letter words, but you know what I'm trying to say there. To have someone like that can literally run over players, and he could take on even Pacific Islanders and all the rest of it. That's an outstanding ability to have. And, you know, it's South African rugby is very strange to me because, when I was speaking to some power brokers, so to speak, in rugby, they said Duan van der Merwe, they didn't rate him in South Africa because he didn't have a skill set. And, when you speak to some guys in France, they say, well, the skill set that he had, with the profile that he had, that everyone liked in France, was that he was big, he was strong, and he could run in a straight line and score tries. And I think Prince has got that, but he's also got a skill set. He's got very good spatial awareness. He reads the game very well. I think he's got a very high rugby IQ. And if he doesn't go all the way, there's something wrong with our structures, because he's got all the ingredients to go all the way to the top. He has to be someone that has to be nurtured and looked after. But I really, really believe that this guy's got the ability to become a world-class wing. I don't say I'm right all the time, but I've just got a very good feeling about Prince. Then fly-offs, Charles Williams was outstanding. CUT shocked a lot of people, and he was a very good general. And when you take a look at Charles and CUT in general, it just shows you what a difference a general can make at fly-off. And I think some teams were missing that. Some teams were definitely missing that, but you need that general at fly-off. Ulrich Claessens makes SA schools 2 years in a row as a scrum off. Sort of plays, they've basically announced him as a centre for this tournament, and he goes in, ends up being a fly-off, and really brought up the UJ game overall. Ulrich is someone that needs to be looked after, nurtured, because he's an outstanding athlete. It's just a question of where do you want to play him. But wherever he plays, I think he can be an asset to any team. And then obviously David Kutzer, a running fly-off, a leader, an outstanding athlete. He had a hell of a tournament as well, and deservedly put a winner's medal around his neck. But I think it's fairly predictable to anyone that watched this tournament. It has to go to James Tedder, guys. When was the last time you saw someone so dominant, especially in the early rounds? I don't think anyone could have seen UCT doing what they did. And although the centre combination for UCT was outstanding, don't get me wrong, when you got a fly-off like this, marshalling the troops, it's very easy to look good. Now, they're slow to do the work. They're still very good players, but it's a lot easier to look very good when you got a fly-off like this. He's going to make you look good. And his overall game was outstanding. When you start speaking to scouts and some people in the know, there's opinions are a bit divided on him overall as a player, but I think that got dispelled. There's a lot of quality in this guy, and surely there's got to be a union that's got to be, licking their lips and offering a contract. Even heard a couple of rumours about a couple of clubs in England that might be very interested in this player, so we'll see what happens. Scrum off, Johan Mulder. Very exciting player, always did the job on the field, very consistent. Was the difference between a couple of wins and losses for Tuks. Bobby Alexander was outstanding as well. Bobby, we rate him very, very highly. Spoke a lot about his game, so I don't need to elaborate too much there. And then William Rose from UCT. I love this guy's style of player. He's never afraid to get stuck in, and it's. Some people get annoyed by it, like some fans get annoyed by it, but I personally love it when I see a little Jack Russell scrum off going around there and causing a bit of, again, don't want to use 4-letter words, but what he's causing there is brown, you know what I mean? It's causing a lot of brown trouble, around there, and, a lot of the, got in the face of a lot of the loose forwards and tight forwards and all the rest of it. He didn't care who it was, he got in people's faces. And I just thought it was outstanding, and he was a big part of UCT's success. But it ultimately had to go to Clyde Lewis, in my opinion. Another guy that's able to play multiple positions. Herschel Jansi's had a breakout at Varsity Cup level, and I believe this Varsity Cup was Clyde's breakout. And I think we're going to be hearing a hell of a lot more of this young talent in the future. From the Southwestern Districts region, goes up north like many of his contemporaries have, and it's very hard to succeed up there in Blue Bulls country, and he's definitely put his hand up. And I wouldn't want to be a coach and have to choose between him and the sort of crop of scrum off the Bulls have to choose from now. It's just absolutely outstanding. But Nico Lees, the Tuks coach, absolute genius, and that's something that has to be spoken about, was the quality of coaching at the Varsity Cup. That was something else. Very exciting stuff there, but that'll probably be another video. But I think the way that he rotated Clyde and Johan was outstanding. When he wanted the game to open up a bit, Clyde would be obviously on the field, and when he wanted to close things off and he wanted to get a bit more tactical, it was more about Johan. But Clyde is a very exciting and dynamic player, and no doubt definitely going to go far in the game. Moving on to 8th man, Christian Stelik from UCT was obviously outstanding, consistently great. Ben Jason Dixon from Marty's, outstanding player. Looked at this guy since his days at Port Royal, and he was an outstanding prospect. Franco Skitter from UJ was outstanding, but to me, it wasn't even close in a sense, because this guy was just a complete breakout, and that is Tino Tenda Masevere. And he just came out of nowhere and really showed his ability. What an outstanding athlete, just genetically gifted, athletically gifted. And, if I was running a union, I would open up my checkbook and I'd bring this guy in as soon as possible, because he's a future superstar. The sheer athleticism of this guy is out there. I mean, I don't know why he hasn't been fast tracked in terms of senior rugby, because you don't get this much explosiveness, and you're not this dynamic overnight. This takes some time, and thank goodness for the UWC coaching staff, because they've really uncovered a gem here, guys. I don't want to blow too much smoke, if you know what I mean, but I really feel this guy's got it in him to become a Springbok or an international player in 2 to 3 years' time. I really think that, and I know it's a big call, but seriously, this guy is absolute dynamite. Really came out of nowhere. Or maybe he's been like this for a while. I mean, I haven't been watching Varsity Cup for that long, but to me, this guy can play international level rugby in 2 to 3 years' time, and I know it's a big call, but I really do believe it. Then we move on to open side. Honru Sergel from Tuks was outstanding, but he played all over the field. The guy's versatility is almost a curse, but at the same time, you just think to yourself, he's got a big future in the game. I think he just signed for Grukas, if I'm not mistaken. Kwagga van Niekerk from UJ was outstanding. Lindo Nkusane from Wits, very, very exciting and dynamic talent as well. But my opinion, Neil Otto, he was just a monster in this tournament. The loose trio of UCT was another big reason for them performing so well in the tournament. And, especially in the group stages, Neil was absolutely outstanding. And someone I definitely think is going to have an exciting future in the game. Then we move on to blindside. Mark Steeman from Wits I thought was great. Hans-Ter Blanche, very good as well. Had a very consistent tournament. Gift Lamini, very dynamic athlete. Definitely look forward to seeing more of him. But ultimately, went with Liam Greenall, UCT leader. This guy just played captain's innings after captain's innings, so to speak. I mean, he was just consistently working hard, doing the hard yards, and really was a true leader for his team, and really inspirational in the tournament. And someone that you could just see, like, the players follow him into battle. They really follow him into battle. And if this is my team of the tournament, I have to select a captain, like, I don't even hesitate. This is my captain. Lock, we looked at Thomas Meyer from Tuks, consistently good as well. Gary Porter, he was very consistent. Malembe Mpofu stood out in a good couple of games, but ultimately Derek Pretorius. The scary thing is, I believe this guy, from what I heard, played third team at Grey College, and it just shows you the depth of the depth in class at school as a rugby school. But it also shows you, just because you play in second or third team at school level doesn't mean that you can't have a future in the game. I think there's quite a few years after Derek already, and he was outstanding. He was consistently great, and the forward pack of the CUT was definitely a dark horse this year. I don't think anybody saw the sheer dominance that they would have on other teams, but they were very, very dominant, and they were very consistent, and very unlucky not to make the semis. A very well coached outfit, and I think Derek is definitely one of the fans of the tournament. Other lock, Simon Miller from Marties was outstanding. We spoke a heck of a lot about him as well in the past. Very gifted player from St Albans. Pierre Ace was great as well. Byron Bowes, I really, really rate. I really like. Apparently not that interested in a career in rugby, but if he ever decided, I think there could be potentially a decent career for him, especially when I hear how many clubs in England are interested in him, that he's got a British passport, apparently. But to me, and this might seem a bit biased, but I don't care. It has to be Connor Evans. We named Connor as our number one prospect for 2020. There's a lot of people that said, why didn't you name player X or this guy or that guy? We believe that Connor is going to go all the way in this game. He's going to become a world-class player, really do believe it. And to me, one of the finds of the tournament, he made the step up like it was nothing. And you've got to consider something as well. The youngster didn't have a 2020 season. He had one school game, would have walked into the SA Schools team, probably would have captained the SA Schools team, but didn't have a year. And he comes in and he plays Varsity Cup rugby, which is not easy, and he makes it look easy. He has outstanding games, and he just showed what an outstanding talent he is. And Western Province, it was a real coup for them to get this guy, and I think he showed his ability. He's wise beyond his years, and big things are awaiting this guy. Big things are awaiting this guy in the future. And a lot of the times the guys say, when you talk too much about a player, you blow him up. Maybe he might get an ego. I don't think that's the case with Connor. Maybe there are some youngsters, but they're going to get blown up anyway and have their egos anyway. I think someone like Connor, he knows that he's a great player. He knows that he's got it in him to be a great player, but he's very grounded, and I think it's going to put him in good stead for the future. And I rate him, and I would definitely have him in my team of the tournament. He's one of those players where I just think to myself, like, I would do anything to sign this guy for my team. He's one of those guys, one of an untouchable. You can build a spine in a team around him. For a spine, you need 3 to 5 players, ideally. And, Connor would be mine for the future, 100%. Tight heads, Robbie Hunt, another UCT player that is outstanding. Justin Tace, what a monster, 145 kilograms, and he goes around that field like it's nothing. Really, really enjoy his style of play. Very physical. Again, you take a look at the size of the guy, it's crazy. I don't think we have a prop that size in pro rugby, so it'll be interesting to see what happens with him once he's done with varsity rugby. And then Shergan Phillies from UJ, thought very good tournament as well, despite UJ not having the best tournament. But there's no surprise here, guys. This was like after round 3, you just knew this guy's going to be in the team of the tournament, and that's Janu Botha. This is, guys, just like, you got that whole term, the American dream. Well, this is like the South African dream, for a young rugby player. It's apparently working in the game like as a chef. The pandemic hit, didn't know what to really do, came back to play varsity rugby. Now he's got a contract with Griquas, and he was dominant in his first couple of games come scrum time. He just ate his opposition for a joke. It was crazy. And, I think if you spoke to him a year ago and you told him he'd be playing professional rugby, he would have laughed at you. But this is the beauty of Varsity Cup rugby. Things like this can happen, and it's wonderful. And this guy's, I've had a chance to speak to him a couple of times. He's a hell of a great youngster, very humble. And, I think he's just enjoying the moment. And that's what it's all about. I love watching him play, and I just wish him all the best in his career. I think he deserves a great career. It's a wonderful story. Then at hooker, Gustav Durant from the Eagles was outstanding. Mornay Brandon, what a future he's got in the game as well. Very, very good athlete. Then Andre Hugo Venter, obviously, we've spoken about him a lot. Someone that's also got the ability to go extremely far in the game. But we had to go with CUT's Janus Venter. It had to be. Leading try scorer in the tournament as a hooker. It shows you how much the game has changed, how much the dynamic has changed, and it's an interesting time for rugby. It's going to be very interesting in the future. But yeah, Janus definitely led from the front, very physical player, and someone that we definitely look forward to seeing more of, hopefully in the near future. Another one we hope, we're hoping we might get a Currie Cup contract or something like that. It'd be quite nice to see him take the step up. Then finally, we got the loose head, Leon Lyons, when he was playing for Marties, was outstanding. Sebo Dlamini was another player, really liked the look of him. I think the thing with Sebo is that, he might need a bit of work on the scrumming side of things, but it's his first year out of school, guys. You can't forget that. He hasn't been playing prop that long. I think he did outstandingly well for his first year out of school, and also considering that he missed the 2020 season. I think we shouldn't forget that very quickly. Ultimately, I think Sebo is someone that's got a big future in the game. But to me, there's only one man that I think about when I think about a loose head prop this year, and that's Dean Bleuler. Had a privilege of doing a video for him last year and having a bit of a chat to him. And it's another one of these guys that's, very down to earth and a hard worker, from the South Coast. And someone that you just feel is destined for high honours in the game at some stage. Very powerful scrummer, work rates up there all over the field. And, him and Leon, Leon and Sazi Sandi, definitely do look to be the future of Stormers Rugby, and very, very exciting prospects, obviously. Okay, well, that's it, guys. Generally we cover school rugby on this channel. We decided to give it a go with Varsity Rugby. Let us know your thoughts and opinions on the team of the tournament. Obviously, there's some players that you might feel that we were missing. I think the thing was that the tournament, it was a very complex tournament because, the games were held so close together, yet so far apart at the same time. COVID delayed things a little bit. So it was a very, very strange tournament. There's no doubt about it. But it was exciting at the same time. And like I say, the coaching was outstanding. There's definitely some players that have put their hands up. And it's just, it's a great tournament. There's no doubt it's the best varsity rugby tournament on the planet. And looking forward to watching many more. Don't forget to click that subscribe button and smash the like button as well. That obviously helps us with the Google algorithm. And as always, guys, leave your comments down below. Don't be shy if you think we're full of rubbish and got things wrong. Always like a nice debate. That's what being fans of the sport's all about. Have a great week further. Cheers. Bye.